From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Steve Milton.
It's Tuesday, May 14th. This is Ticats Today, and I'm Steve Milton. Ticats had a power practice today at Mac, and we'll do the same tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. But Thursday is off the field for weightlifting, meetings, and massages. Now, there's a science to this cadence of practice, and we'll ask head coach Scott Milanovich to address that directly.
Yeah, I mean, originally a power practice was a version of two different practices with a 20-minute break in between. What we kind of are doing here is that first practice is a walkthrough, good against good, kind of live to the snap, where we're getting all the mental reps, we're getting all the details, we're filming it where we can coach off of it, but we're not putting undue stress on the players' legs. And, nowadays, there's just a lot of data out there as to when guys start to get injured, and this is the way that the data says is the best to do it right now.
There is no power practice Thursday, so Hamilton will do other team and fitness-related things. But it's important to know why that is. So again, we turn to the head coach.
Again, yeah, I'm not a doctor, but the data that I've received says that most of the soft tissue injuries come on the fourth straight day of practice. And so that's why it's just more beneficial to lift, rest their legs, meet, catch up on film, to avoid those injuries. What ends up happening is you go through that fourth day, guys start getting hurt, and when you're into days 5 and 6, you don't have enough players to practice, and you're only getting 20 reps. So the philosophy is that we'll keep them healthier longer and be able to get better practices over the long run.
On a sobering, at least for now, note, Justin McGriff, the personable 6'6" receiver who was the star of last year's training camp, was helped off the field sitting on the back of a golf cart this morning. You'll recall McGriff, who has been terrific in both rookie and main camps this year, was hurt in a fluke incident last year, which gave him a compound fracture of his tibia just before the season opened. But he had confounded predictions by diligently working his way back into uniform this spring. Now, after the injury, GM Ed Hervey told Ticats Today this morning, and I'm going to have to quote this one. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to see the actual injury happen, Ed told me. We have to see the film. As it sits right now, we don't have an update where the injury is. We know it's a lower body, but before we get into specifics, we'd at least like to have a doctor's assessment to give us a little bit more information. That sounds fair to me. The Ticats were working on that assessment as we went to air with this episode. Now, a couple of observations outside of that accident, or I'm not even sure it was an accident. I didn't quite see how McGriff got hurt. But a couple of other observations I had from practice today, and the first one should come as no surprise. Cornerback Jamal Peters, who had 10 interceptions the last 2 years for the Argos, including a league-leading 6 last season, 2 of them against Hamilton, was one of the Ticats' premier free agency signings. And he has been impenetrable this week at the weak side corner, where he'll cover so many of the league's top receivers. I don't think I saw him get beaten once, particularly today when he had his feet fully underneath him, and particularly on 12-on-12 team play, where his understanding of angles and what receivers are trying to do really shone through. For instance, Big Shamar Bridges, who is being given every opportunity to win the starting role as a wide receiver, told me afterwards that constantly facing Peters this week has made him realize where he has to make improvements in his game. And Bo Levi Mitchell was out there, again without his boot, showing no residual problems after his first team workout in a few weeks on Monday. He threw a bit more than he did the day before, and like Monday, didn't take part on the full 12-on-12s, again as a precautionary measure. But he did go 12-on-12 in what's known as installation, in which the offense essentially walks through plays against the defense, but without throws to complete the plays and without physical resistance from the defense, and definitely without any strong rushes anywhere near the quarterback. Taylor Powell, meanwhile, and again no surprise, again looked confident in running the offense. Now there's competition for backup, but if I were a betting man, the starters across the offensive line, with Joel Figueroa still injured, will be the core 3 Canadians, of course. That's center David Beard and guards Brandon Revenberg and Colter Woodmansey, and massive American tackles Jordan Murray and Brandon Kemp, both who have been with the team before. But there are still several other American tackles in camp, and there will be spirited battles there. It's hard to tell, at least until the black and gold game on Sunday evening, who's got the leg up on what will probably be 2 backup tackle jobs available. But depending upon other situations, that could only be one. So this is going to be a really good competition. And it was the first day in uniform for defensive lineman Luke Brubaker. It's not Luke Brubaker, as we heard so often during draft day, who played at Wilfrid Laurier. The team's 2024 second-round draft pick just got back from NFL mini camps with the New York Jets and New Orleans Saints. That's very encouraging for his own career. And his quick return is important to the Ticats, who have to shore up their depth of Canadian defensive linemen after ratio-breaking linebacker Jordan Williams unexpectedly retired. So I'll turn once again to Scott Milanovich for a little discussion about that.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we'd love, obviously he was our second round draft pick. We're expecting a lot out of him. We do understand he's a little on the raw side, having not played football his whole life, but we're going to bring him along. We're going to push him. Our teammates are going to help him, and we're going to ask him to have a role.
That's a wrap for now, and thanks to everyone for watching, listening, and reading. And please join us again for tomorrow's episode as we zoom in on a couple of other position battles and more eyewitness accounts from another power practice day at Ron Joyce Stadium at McMaster. This has been Ticats Today, and I'm Steve Milton.
This has been Ticats Today with Steve Milton. Catch it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.